Howdy, partners. Welcome to episode 212 of Masters of the Forge. Here I am. My name is Six Gun Adam, and with me is oh man, I didn't prep no trail name for you, Jason. You can be Strumming Fingers Jason. You're the bard. All right. Yeah, they have bards, right, in Texas?
Yeah,
in the Old West, there were bards. That was a class you could have, right?
We have both types of music, country and western.
Oh, fantastic.
I've been wanting to use that line for weeks, and I haven't had a chance to drop it anywhere. So
You're welcome. You're welcome. All right. So, everybody, thank you for joining us.
Yeah.
We are, it's summer, so, we're not super busy working, which is nice, but still, we're going to start off with the hobby excuses section. Jason.
Hobby excuse. Okay.
Excuses.
This last week was a bad week for hobby for me because my air conditioner went out. And I wasn't able to even stay in my house for 6 days. I think it went out the night before we recorded our last episode, which I haven't edited yet because I haven't had air conditioning. It was 95 degrees inside my house, the couple of minutes before the AC guy actually was able to get that fan running. It was, it was awful.
Wow.
Yeah, it was, 95 degrees and you have a few litter boxes because you have cats is,
oh yeah, that's just the worst.
Yeah, it's just wrong on so many levels. But I can tell you what I have done in hobbying before that.
Yeah.
So we talked. Did we talk about me doing a Magnus proxy on the episode before last?
Gosh, it's been a minute.
I know we kind of mentioned it somewhere, but I don't know if it was actually in an episode.
Okay.
So I'm doing a Magnus proxy because really he is a force multiplier. There are reasons that I can take him, etc. But I don't want to take that model because anyone can have that model, right?
Yeah.
So I'm proxying out a model.
Well, and also a big proxy with a regular sorcerer is a great way to take Magnus in a narrative game that you don't actually want Magnus at. Yeah,
that too. So what I did was I'm actually creating what I'm calling the Convocation of the Faceless. I kind of workshopped the name on our Discord channel, so our Discord server. So if you ever want to help me out, maybe you should get onto Discord.
Yeah,
I think Couch came up with Convocation, and I think Mark came up with maybe calling it Convox instead of Convocation. So I'm probably going to call it Convox the Faceless. There are 3 Exalted Sorcerers on this. It's a Basilicum kit. I think it's the kit that came with 8th edition. Or was it 9th edition? It's like the intro kit. It had a Basilicum. It had all sorts of cool stuff in it. And I got it, and I left it in the box, and then I never ever even opened it until a couple of weeks ago. So the train piece, it's one... it's 4-sided, but each wall is a stained glass window wall, so you can actually see to the inside.
Okay.
And I've got 3 sorcerers on it that are magnetized on there. Yay! One of them's kind of dancing, and looks like he's dancing, but Christopher walking in the Fat Boy Slim weapon of choice manner, he's sliding. So he might get some sort of walk-in inspired name. Exactly, that one. And then I have a magnetized base on it so that I can actually pull the base off and I can put something inside that can be seen from the outside. Currently,
Okay.
the spell book from the Endless Spells of Tzeentch, I think, is in there. But I can easily swap out another objective, such as one of Mike's librarians, whenever I play him next, because I tend to do that to him. Let's see if he listens to this episode.
Yes,
yeah.
I'm sure he will.
Yeah, I'm sure he's going to enjoy me stealing his librarian again.
Well, yeah.
The tower is placed on a little half-inch PVC plumbing cap, so it looks like it'll be floating, and I can work on some green stuff flames or something. Like, I've already tried the green stuff thing to do, and I didn't like it, so I tore it apart. It was too tentacly.
Yeah, well, some of these conversion projects have, you try something out, it doesn't work. You try something new. You don't always. It behooves you not to be too married to a particular detail if it's not working. Even if you spend a bunch of time on it, if it doesn't work out, just tear it apart and try again. Yeah.
So I'm planning on painting this thing in a pearlescent white with brass and gold accents. I am still figuring out the colors of the sorcerers, though. I want them to all be in the same scheme. I definitely want them to be like 40k, not 30k sorcerers.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm thinking maybe either a dark blue to contrast the pearlescent white, or maybe a seafoam green. I don't know. I'm still kind of figuring this part out.
Okay.
Each sorcerer does have like the same helmet from Forge World, and it looks kind of like you could paint it in a mirror because it's almost like very smooth. Like, there's not a lot of extra detail. You could actually paint it silver and make it look like it's mirrored.
Is it like a thing? Yeah.
Yeah.
You
all
just
three
like
of them are robed.
add your own detail there or whatever.
Yeah. So it's going to be a fun build. It's definitely one of those that is going to be a challenge for me, but I think I'll really enjoy it, and I think it's a chance for me to show off,
Yeah, no, I love this idea. I love people who make their own conversions that work for named characters and whatnot. It's my favorite thing, so I'm looking forward to it.
And I could go through, and if I wanted to change out, different sorcerers or something, I could just put a magnet on them and pop them in there. Because I drilled in and to the recess them so that whenever I actually put them on there, you don't see the magnet.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think before I did that, and I didn't recess them, and so they had that gap that looked really funky. So yeah.
Okay.
What about you? What we got?
No, me. Yeah. So I painted Warhammer.
Yay!
Weird. I painted 6 kilocans with Grotzukas. I had those built for a while. I had a bunch of kilocans from before, and I got some from Tucker, and I have like 12 extra kilocans. I have 6 painted. So I got the Grotzuka ones together, and I did one conversion so that I could have the 6th. I used the bits from the Squig buggy to have, instead of it being the Grotzuka cannon, it's shooting squigs instead. So that's really cool. They were a lot like the. I sometimes forget how much effort it is to get the initial base coats color blocking in on these orc vehicles. It is pretty brutal. It's a very laborious stage, and I thought I was going to die. But once I started getting the layering in and the highlighting, I was having fun and enjoying it. And I got to play them for the first time today, and I did end up dropping one of those kilocans, the one I was just talking about, because it had metal pieces on it. It had metal arm because it used one arm from an old metal penitent engine.
I don't like the word
arm.
had, the way you have conjugated that verb.
Well, here's the problem, okay? So that's really heavy, and also my Gorkanaut that I made out of the Defiler is on a resin base. So both of those models were like on the edge of my carrying tray, and they tipped over and just exploded on the garage floor. Like they're the two of the models in my army that would not appreciate being dropped on concrete, and they both just exploded into requisite parts. And those models are not easy to get together initially.
Yeah.
So now they're just getting the Gorkanaut has been dropped before, so it's got layers of paint layers of glue and paint. Like it's been reassembled many times, so it's kind of sitting in its foam right now, and I'm just gonna let it live there for a little while and not worry about it. The Killacan I'll fix and get that patched up, but the Gorkanaut can kind of just hang out there until I need it. So anyways, I have 18 boys from the Combat Patrol box that I have spray painted and dry brushed. Why 18 and not 20? Because 20 comes with it. I don't think I lost any. I think I actually used 2 of them in a conversion to make more mech boys for my spanners for my Ludas and Burnas.
Okay, so I'm laughing about this because I'm missing a couple of rubrics. Like the same reason I used them, like parts of them for conversions. Yeah. So I'm just gonna. So I think it's good to get some more boys painted. I know why, Adam. Why would you need more boys? Don't you have hundreds? Yes, I do. But a lot of my regular Choppa Slugga Shooter boys are painted in the orange scheme. So they're in my other orc army. Yeah. But
my blue orc army only has one big unit of old metal orc boys.
Oh.
No, 2 units. A 20 model unit and a 20 model unit of Shooter boys and a 20 model unit of Choppa boys. And they're old metal and very small and still on 25 mils, and I am not rebasing Slotta bases right now. No, thank you. So I would say I do have 60, so 30 and 30 of the yellow and blue boys. I want more Choppa boys, so I'm going to go ahead and paint those up in the blue scheme, so I have more boys in the blue scheme. I think I even have foam I can put them in, which is nice.
Good.
Yeah, so I'm going to work on that next. I think that'll be fun to get some more boys painted up. That's the only hobby progress I have done and I have considered in my foreseeable future, but Cities of Sigmar release is coming up, so I better get some orcs painted now because that's going to be...
Yeah.
Anybody looking to pay $1,000 for a fully painted Imperial Knight army, let me know.
Oh, okay. So we're going to go ahead and sell off the House of Tiamat?
Yeah. They all have freehand dragons painted on the shoulders. Yeah. DM me.
Oh, it's
maybe I should charge more than $1,000. I don't know.
Beautiful work, man. It
I like it very much, but it sits in the case.
Yeah.
I want to play with models.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about games played, Jason.
None.
Yeah, none. Yeah, it's not surprising how it's just
after the last couple of weeks. Yeah, I'm just happy I'm here.
Yeah, you're just happy to be alive. I heard that I was listening to NPR today, and they were saying that people in Phoenix were turning on the tap water, their cold tap water, and it was hot.
Yeah. Our tap water's that way. It's nasty.
That's weird.
Yeah.
Because that's a great way to get bacteria and stuff to just be growing in your tap water, I assume. I don't know.
Yeah, that's why I don't drink it.
Oh. Yeah, well, I mean, I guess you put enough chlorine in it, it'll do whatever, but still.
It'll kill about everything, yeah.
Yeah, it's fine.
Or it should.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so I had 2 games. I played a match play game versus Tucker's Custodes using the Scorched Earth mission. Mm-hmm. That's the one where you can burn the objectives.
Oh, so that's fun. Yeah.
Yeah. So you score like for holding 1 or holding 2, and then you at the end you score points for having burned objectives. And we did the hammer and anvil deployment, which was interesting. That's the long ways deployment. And in this one we had the sweep and clear mission rule, so it let us continue to hold objectives even if we're not on them.
Yeah,
and we had a fun time. Tucker's a nice man, and we I honestly don't truly remember the outcome. I think I did win that game, but we're all learning and stuff right now, so it's kind of, you know, who won doesn't really matter. But my orcs at one point got stuck in with some custodes, and I made like, it was like 8 boys. So they had, during a WOG, so they had 32 attacks and they ended up with 40 some, and they were -1 to hit. They started with like 38 times 34 attacks, ended up with like 40 something hits. Which is wild.
Oh, yeah. That's right, because they have all those exploding hits.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, orcs have the exploding hits on the charge, and you get that stratagem that lets you explode on 5s instead. That's super cute. That's super cute.
That's super obnoxious, but it's orcs. Like,
yeah.
If you told me it was another army, I'd be like, no. But for orcs, it's like, yeah, that's... Actually, it's like, that's a stratagem. That's not just the rule. Okay, fine, whatever.
But it was really. I'm little. I think we might have talked about, like, yeah, we did. We talked about how the Death Dread came in off the back and denied the objective by causing a battle shock test. We talked about that in the last episode. It was really
shocked. It battle shocked Custodes.
Yeah.
You can do that?
you can roll low.
Okay. It's just
yeah, I almost battle shocked Magnus today.
Really? Because he's got...
Okay. Oh, not almost. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
I just forced a roll. I didn't... That's what I mean by almost, not like...
Okay. You know? Well, I mean, you made him
roll 1,
come close to break. Yeah.
Yeah, so I... dude, okay, let's move on to the next game. I played against Brandon's 1,000 Suns today at Mark's house. Yeah. Mark had a barbecue, and we played some Warhammer 40,000. Yeah. And I played the Deploy Servo Skulls mission, which is the one where the 3 objectives in no man's land you can move them 6 inches at the end of your turn.
Yeah.
The card says any turn, but there's a FAQ for that says your turn. Again, this is another match play game where right now we're just learning the game and stuff. We're not really doing a lot of narrative play missions.
Yeah.
In the area, but I'm definitely gonna ask some of the guys to start doing some narrative missions with me.
I'm gonna get Keith back on because. He took 9th edition off. Well, he took the last half of 9th edition off.
Right.
So,
and I know that Kendrick is super down. He asked me if I wanted to play tonight, but I was playing this afternoon and recording with you today. So I had to beg off on that, but I'm looking forward to playing the next game in our Crusade coming up.
That is going to be cool.
Yeah, that'll be nice.
Yeah.
So Magnus.
Okay, yeah. Tell me about Magnus. Tell me about the 1,000 Suns. How'd they do?
Well, Magnus, good.
Yeah.
So there's that. So I took a mech list. So I took I had two big mechs, one with a shock attack gun, one with like the mega armor and a custom force field.
Yeah.
And the shock attack gun guy was attached to some mech guns in the backfield. And I actually put him next to a. I actually used the mech repair facility. I forgot the name of it for some reason because I'm a big dumb idiot.
What is the name of that?
Mech Boy Workshop. It's a Mech Boy Workshop.
That's it.
So the fun thing about the Mech Boy Workshop is it can repair everything within range of it for D3 wounds.
What's the range?
Which is, I don't know off the top of my head. It's probably 3 inches, right?
Okay, yeah.
But it's a really big fortification because it comes with all these pieces that just have to be within like an inch or 3 inches of each other or something. So it's a big fortification. And then I took 2 mechs, and the mechs followed around with 2 Gorkanauts. So the Gorkanauts could be healed for either D3 or 2D3 at any time. Yeah. Which is pretty great as long as the Gorkanauts stayed near the fortification. Of course, they didn't, eventually they have to get in and get choppy, right? Yeah. But the cool thing about the Mech Boy power is so cool because it's not only repairs for D3, but gives the vehicle +1 to hit for the whole turn. Or for the whole battle round. Yeah, it's a great buff. Like, here's a repair, also +1 to hit. Oh, that's pretty sweet. Yeah, that's super nice. So that's what I had. 2 Gorkanauts. Yeah. Inside the Gorkanauts, one of the Gorkanauts had Burnaboys in it, a whole 10 model squad, and the other one had 3 Mega Knobs and the big mech with custom force field in Mega Armor. And then I had two 10 model units of Ludas, each in a truck. Mm-hmm. And I had a unit of Killicans with the Grotzukas, and then one ended up on the floor. And I took 2 Boom Daka Snaz wagons. Oh, yeah. They're pretty cool because they have a mech special. That's literally the reason I took them. I don't think I've ever used them in a game, so they're the ones I made out of the Lego. Remember, I had the buggies that I stole the idea from the Adeptus Terra podcast guys.
Yeah, I do.
And I so that. and then I added stuff to them and made them Boom Daka Snaz wagons. Yeah. So I took those. They actually they're pretty fun. Then I'm missing one other thing, I think. No, I think that's about it. It doesn't matter. This isn't a battle report. I'm just talking about so it was just a very mech based not a huge amount of boys type list. Yeah. And it was for match play, it's not great, but I was glad to get the units out. And this is what I love about having a collection instead of a bunch of different armies, right? Yeah. If you have a collection of one army and you have like if you have like 3 of everything and then like 6 of all your troops, man, you can play any game you want. Yep. At any time, and you won't get bored with it, really. Yeah. I really advocate having at least one army where you have a full collection over time.
Well, that's what I'm doing with my 1,000 Suns.
Yeah, be able to play anything.
Zangor.
Right? Like it's like the one time I painted 100,000 orcs or Gretchen.
Yeah. See, it's I know your pain.
Yeah. So it was a fun game with Brandon. Yeah. He made one mistake. He didn't push his objectives so you push them. So what happens is you move the objectives. It's just like that narrative play mission, actually. That's part of why I like some of these missions so much, because they have a more narrative feel. Yeah. If you're holding an objective, you can move it up to 6 inches towards your opponent, or you can just move them wherever, right? Right. And at the start or at the end of your turn. No. At the start of your turn. No. Yeah, at the start of your turn, you score points based on how far you've pushed the objectives towards your opponent's battlefield edge.
Yeah.
So you're pushing the front lines. If you remember, this is one of the narrative missions that I really loved from 9th edition. I love the idea of actually moving those battle lines back and forth. It was 8th edition, actually, from I forgot that series of narrative games. But anyways, I like the idea of actually having a battle line moving forward and backward. And he didn't push the objectives towards me. He said in the beginning, he kind of thought that you had to be holding them to score.
Yeah.
And that's a bummer because it would have helped a lot if he had moved them forward. I did end up winning that game, but there's definitely a big asterisk there because he wiped me out. I had no models left at the end of the game.
So what was he running?
I won on
like
points.
Rubrics or cultists or
Matt, he had Magnus and he had Ahriman. Ahriman was in a unit of Rubrics with Flamers.
Yep. Okay.
And so that's the one that he was teleporting around with lots of Flamer action because I think Ahriman has a Flamer attack as well, right?
I think so.
He had 2 Vortex Beasts.
Yep.
And he had...
Did he have an Exalted Sorcerer?
Well, yeah, there's an Exalted Sorcerer in there somewhere. That was in with one of the Rubric squads. Actually, I think both of the Rubric squads had a character because he said if you have a character and the whole unit gets a 4-up invuln, so there's kind of no reason not to.
Yeah.
And then there was a giant unit of Terminators with a Sorcerer in that as well.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I think I know which list he's got. I'll ask him.
Yeah, that was a really big list, and it was really hard to shift. You know, the Terminators dropped down in the center of the battlefield. I never got a hold of that center objective. I focused everything on the side objectives, pushing them towards his battlefield edge, and I was able to kind of wipe out one side so I could push one objective way forward. Mm-hmm. And you get 15 points for having an objective in your opponent's deployment zone every turn.
Oh, wow.
So,
okay.
Yeah. So, but in matched play, there's the max you can score in primary is 50, and the max you can score on secondary is 45.
Oh, okay.
But the shooting phase was just gnarly, dude.
Oh yeah.
Like my orcs tried really hard to weather it, but that shooting was nasty, and I put a lot of I decided to, out of spite and also so it's tough to make a choice, right? You really need to get the Cabal points down in order to stop Magnus or anybody from resisting your damage. Like that once per phase, like ignore damage for the first attack for one attack is super strong because you can't just use a big gun to kill him. But in order to kill him, you have to kill everything else to reduce the amount of Cabal points.
Yes.
But also he also is a source of a lot of Cabal points.
Yeah, he's 4. And
so the big blocks of rubrics on this, there's a big block of rubric on one side that I kind of had to trade off. That objective kind of stayed in the middle, sort of. The middle objective got pushed into my area. And then the other objective I pushed way into his zone. So that's the reason I won. I got stuff pushed. I got that one objective pushed forward early, and we fought over the other 2 over the course of the game. So now I definitely was missing the big block of boys, at least one big block of boys.
Yeah.
I really, even the Mega Knobs really didn't do much. Again, Magnus was like a -1 to damage.
Yeah. So
honestly, if I had sent in a block of 20 boys during a WA against him, I probably would have killed him.
More than likely.
Because who cares if you spend, what is it, 5 Cabal points to ignore the damage from one attack. You're not going to do that with a chop-up attack.
No.
And I guess there's a stratagem that does it too. It just happens at a different time. It's a little complicated. I don't want to talk about it. But yeah, I was missing the 20 boys for sure.
There is one big change that hit the Thousand Suns with the last FAQ.
Oh yeah, what's that?
So when you and I played our games, Inferno Bolters and Combi Bolters were not marked as psychic.
Mm-hmm.
And so I couldn't do anything with them besides shooting. But they were updated to be psychic now. And so if they're psychic, they can actually do devastating wounds.
Okay. So, yeah, he was doing some devastating wounds, but I think he did mention that bolters weren't psychic.
They are
now. Maybe mention that to him. I would have been wiped off the board on turn 2 though instead of turn 4, so maybe that's a good thing.
Magnus and Armand, those two are the super strong. Yeah. Now they are. I mean, the lore and whatnot before in 8th edition was they still didn't like each other, but now they actually do kind of work together. I don't know.
Right. So at one point, like he hit Magnus and just I think when the Terminators came down on turn 2, them and Magnus destroyed my undamaged Gorkanaut and also killed all the Burnaboys inside.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, it was nasty. Also, Ludas are fun. Love a Luda. They're pretty great. Yeah, put them in a truck, sit them there, and shoot. Trucks. Yeah,
Ludas go in and out. Like they're really great, and then they're not, and then they are. They're always fun.
Yeah. I'm a little disappointed in what's gone on with the tank bustas. You can only take them as they come in the resin kit, which is 5 models. Mm-hmm. One model with a pair of rocket pistols, 1 model with a tank hammer, and 3 models with rocket launches, and that's it. You can't even take units of 10. That's it. You're done.
So
it's really expensive. I think it's like 27 points per model or something.
Whoa.
Yeah, they're just like, don't take this. Thanks.
That's not even rubrics.
Yeah, I'm like, it's the worst thing ever. I have so many. They're just they're even in narrative play. I'm not gonna be taking no tank busters. You're out of your dang mind.
Yeah. There's no reason.
The worst. That's the worst. Okay.
Yeah.
So that was my games. I had a lot of fun. Thank you so much, Brandon and Tucker, as usual. Wonderful folks. All right. Do you want to go Beyond the Fringe?
Yeah.
That was kind of half-hearted. Sorry.
It's been a long day.
Yeah.
So, my Beyond the Fringe, the Tremendous Tome of Epic Dungeons.
Okay.
This is a Jeff Hall and Dave Taylor production. If you're familiar with Dave Taylor, I've heard of him. He does a lot of books and building and whatnot, and does a lot of Kickstarters, and I've had quite a few. And this book looks over 20. It's like a collection of 27 scenic builds that they could be like. They're kind of like Pathfinder, D&D, Frostgrave. They're all very fantasy. And some are table builds and other dioramas. But, there's kind of an interview with the builders. There's a lot of pictures of the builds. Friend of the show, Terrace. Hi, Terrace. Who runs Geek Nation Tours. Has a sweet coastal scene that contains a beautiful Mayan pyramid. Like, it's just super cool. And I'm assuming that's like maybe his personal table. But this is a Kickstarter project, and if you're interested in looking it up, look for the Tremendous Tome of Epic Dungeons. There are some really fun-looking dungeon, cavern, Zone Mortalis builds in this book. Like,
I love that.
Yeah, it's the guys who do Dwarven Forge.
Yep.
Yeah, they've got a couple of builds in there that are impressive.
Okay.
So, yeah, it's a great book.
Let's check it out.
I got it yesterday? No, day before. Yeah, great build. Also, I have 3 different Mogwai. My previous 4 have been shipped off to Dallas Fort Worth for adoption, and this morning I picked up 3 new ones: Sassy, Callie, and Cheeto. And Callie is currently all over me. Yeah, I know. You're not staying though. Yeah, laugh it up. You'll be gone. You'll be gone next week.
Oh, what a sweetheart.
Oh yeah. 2 calicos and 1 ginger, and they're all really sweet, but they're, hey, that hurts. Yeah, let's not sniff the microphone either.
I will slice your flesh with my tiny daggers of death.
I thought they went through and trimmed their nails whenever they gave them their vaccinations, but I guess they decided not to this time. But man, they had their vaccinations literally this morning, so they slept all afternoon.
Ow.
So, yeah. And that's mine. What about you? What you got?
Me? Well, it's the freaking Santinoni's hike.
No bears?
I no bears. Well, I was the only bear out there.
Okay, there you go.
We walked out 4.5 miles into the woods after a lot of rain. So a few of the culverts. So there's one little road that goes out there, like halfway, like 2/5 of the way to the campsite, and that road has been closed off to driving traffic, but it's still used by hikers.
Okay.
And 2 of the culverts washed out this week. I actually, when I was driving out, one of the roads was closed because of washed out over like culverts and bridges and stuff. There was a lot of rain up here, and so I walked 4.5 miles to. I wasn't too sure how the camping area was going to be because of the rain and stuff. The actual camping area was wet, and I couldn't set up my tent, but there was a lean-to, which like some of the notes that I saw said that it was in a disrepair, but it was actually had been repaired by the what are they called? They're called the lean-to rescue crew, and it was absolute. It's true. It's a group of people that go out and fix the lean-tos in the Adirondacks.
Not to be confused with the 2 Live crew from Miami.
No.
And let's see how long.
Put it in the what? Put it in the what?
Don't Google that. No, wait.
What?
Google it.
Actually, I shouldn't talk about that song. That song is not okay. It's when you're a 13-year-old, you think it's funny, but it is not. It's not a good song. Anyways, so I slept in the lean-to. Is the first time I kind of went out and did that on my own.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I've never slept in a lean-to before. I was in a tent before. So it's just Sonny and me. And there were actually 3 other hikers sleeping in the air. 1 sleeping in the lean-to and 2 other people sleeping in tents who decided to put their tent up not in the designated camping area. And that's, they can make that life choice if they want. Anyways, long story short, the actual hike the next day was super hard. I hiked from 6 a.m. until 9:30 p.m.
Whoa.
Yeah, it was not great, and it was super mud. It was just all mud. Ugh. All mud, all water, all gross.
Oh, man.
Yeah, it was nasty. It was brutal. It was hard, and it was hot, and it was...
slow too?
It was, well, parts of it were slow. And the funny thing is, like, at the end, so I'll just fast forward to the end. Sonny, when we got back to the lean-to and I packed up our stuff and he he laid and took a nap, I put my bag on and I said, "Come on, Sonny, come." And he's like, "Yeah, I don't think so. We're going to sleep here tonight." Like, "No, come." Like, no, we're sleeping here tonight. Stop. Don't make me do this. And he looked at me like, how dare you? So I had to actually like drag him. The first mile out, I was basically dragging this dog out of the woods. And like, he was so sick of mud and rocks. So in the Adirondacks, there's a whole thing where you're supposed to walk the center of the trail as best you can, regardless of what mud you have or what the obstacles are. You're supposed to not veer from the trail to avoid erosion, right?
Right.
And Sonny's usually pretty good about that, actually, but because he's following his nose, he's smelling the hikers. But on that walk back, he's like, no, I'm not going in the mud anymore. And he walked in the grass in the brush instead of on the trail. But there were a couple times where he just stopped and looked at me and was like, nah. And there were a couple times where he stopped and laid down while we were hiking out of the... Yeah, he was tired. That if I had any more food, I definitely would have stayed the night. But we didn't have any more food, so we had to go. Yeah. And also I didn't want my family to call the DEC to have rangers come looking for me, because that's embarrassing. And also a waste of resources in case there were people who were actually in danger. Yeah. If Sonny really were hurt or really in danger, I do have like a sling, a rescue sling for him. That's right. It's very important because the rangers won't rescue dogs. You can't call the rangers to come and rescue your dog. Okay. You have to do it yourself. So that's why it's one of the main reasons to have one, so that you can rescue your dog if they break their leg or something else happens. But yeah, it was a big day, but rewarding. Got some nice pictures, and also one of the hardest Adirondack hikes is behind me. I don't think I'll ever go there again. Even if Quinn wants to do it in the future, I'll go with him. But there's one part where you just have to hike off the trail to bag this mountain that is trash and isn't even over 4,000 feet. It just was mismeasured back in like the early 1900s or late 1800s, and someone mismeasured it, and it's always been one of the 46 high peaks ever since. I am never doing that again. If Quinn wants to do it, I'll be like, I'll go with you and I'll do the two mountains, but I'm waiting right here while you go get the other one. Get out, go. Take the dog. Actually, don't take the dog. Go by yourself. Yeah. Don't die. Just don't die.
Don't break your leg.
Quinn also had his first concert yesterday, and it was super cute. It was super cute. He loves Dave Matthews Band. We went to Dave Matthews Band, and he got to see Dave Matthews on stage. Well, we got pretty close. I'm pretty sure he got a contact high. It's fine.
It's a Davey Matthews concert. He should have had one.
Yeah. Most of the time, though, now they have a family area where it's designated family area. No smoking, no drinking. Most of the dads were drinking. That's fine. Yeah. But not like I'm sure if people were like obnoxious drinking, they would be asked to leave. But if you just have a beer in your hand, it's fine. But all the kids were there, and he was playing with all the kids and playing with they passed out light up balloons, like balloons with LEDs in them, and glow sticks and glow bracelets and glow necklaces and all kinds of fun stuff. It was super cute, and we had a really fun time. So
cool.
He went with me to play Warhammer today too. So he didn't get a nap. He was up till 10:30 last night.
Oh, and didn't get a nap today. Wiped out.
He is totally passed out. I have a picture of him asleep in his car seat with a bag of Cheetos and orange Cheeto dust all over his face and body. It is just the best. He just had the best weekend, and it's not even Sunday yet.
It's gonna take him the week to recover from the weekend, man.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. He's a party animal. All right, let's Astropathic Communique. That I don't know what that was. That was supposed to be my ticker, my news ticker noise, and that was not even close. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
We should get a sound effect. All right, Jason. What is your Astropathic Communique where we talk about releases?
I'm not sure exactly what it's called. It's essentially the release, it's new Epic.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's pretty cool. I mean, we played Space Marine. I think it was Space Marine with John.
Mm-hmm.
And so I thought that was fun. I figured that, this Epic thing would be pretty cool. I mean, whatever it's called. But what I really liked was they're unleashing, Unleash a pack of Direwolf Scout Titans with a new plastic kit.
Mm-hmm.
And those are cute,
They are, and I want one real bad because it slots in perfectly with my mana pulse. So
yeah.
I'm pretty excited about that. Oh, it's called the
Legion Imperialis.
Yeah, but it's like in quotes, like epic battles in the Horus Heresy or something. So they got the word epic in there.
That. Yeah.
No, it's super cute, and they're on circle bases, which is of course gnashing of teeth. It's the best.
What? Okay.
They're on circular bases.
Uh-huh.
So epic is on square bases.
Oh. Whatever.
Yeah.
You knew that was
so great.
You knew that was going to be my reaction. Whatever.
Well, it doesn't matter to us. We don't have any models, so it doesn't, it doesn't affect us. So it's easy for us to make fun of it.
Yeah, it's fun to make fun of it. And what do you got?
Oh, Cities of Sigmar. Jeez, Pete. We got these sweet Fusiliers with the guns.
Yeah.
And the shields. I mean, a person with a gun should have a shield, even if you have two pistols. I don't know how that works. I am genuinely curious how this person is dual wielding pistols and they have a shield in front of them. I'm not even seeing where it attaches to their body at all, but I'm here for it. That's the important thing. Oh, it's got a little kickstand in the back. Okay. Their movement must be 3 inches.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah, and there's like a little resupply person that carries supplies to the Fusiliers. Mm-hmm. Super cute. Anyways, I'm very excited about that, and I'm also annoyed because I just finished painting an army, but at the same time, I knew this was going to happen.
Yeah. Yeah.
I knew it, so there's nothing I can do to complain about it. So the only thing that actually truly annoys me is the fact that the Griffin, the Griff Chargers are not in the army anymore. The Demi-Griff Knights. Sorry, not Griff Chargers. They're basically Knights on Griffins, right? I am kind of annoyed that there's no corollary in the new range. There are cavalry, but they are more... If they do have cavalry with lances, then I will... right now it looks like that the cavalry only have shields and one-handed weapons, but if they do have lances, then screw it, I'll use my Griffins. That'll be fine.
Yeah.
And Free Guild Guard are not there anymore, but these other guys look like Free Guild Guard. So what are they, just on 28mm bases? Fine, I'll swap the bases, even though I put a lot of effort into the bases. So it's all my fault. It's fine. The new models look gorgeous, and they will fit into the aesthetic of my Cities of Nagash very well. Mm-hmm. We probably should touch on the new Tyranid line. So as we said before, we mentioned a couple episodes ago, Warhammer was doing a battle, like a battle of Oghram, which is, you submit your games, and whoever wins, they would release the new line they'll do a preview show for the new line. Everybody kept saying, well, GW is going to swing it for the Space Marines because they want the Space Marines to win and they're the poster boys. That is the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my life, especially considering See, okay,
You gotta sell it all, dude.
I should probably be a little more diplomatic, especially when it comes to our listeners, but no. This is dumb. That is the dumbest thing I ever heard in my life. They don't care. They didn't pre-record the reveals. They did it live. And what's more, the entire video, the like 10th edition teaser video is all about how the Space Marines are losing. They're getting messed up.
Yeah.
They're getting torn up in battle against the Tyranids. So why would GW have any like desire to put their thumb on the scales for the Space Marines for any reason when the entire impetus of 10th edition is, oh yeah, remember that hope and joy, or that like glimmer of hope from 9th edition? Yeah, that didn't really work out so well. So
yeah, that's gone.
That's going down the drain. That's circling the drain right now. So
yeah.
I don't know if there's anything anybody can do to convince anyone that like the story is still as grimdark as it ever was. It's just better production value. So it's kind of right. Like,
yeah.
It's just better. It's the same grimdark. It's just better production value, you guys. It's fine. Yeah. And every glimmer of hope is, you're just setting yourself up for, sadness. And that makes it more grim, not less grim. Just because there's hope doesn't mean that the darkness doesn't exist. It means that when the darkness comes, it's more tragic because you had hope. But whatever. I can't waste my breath on it anymore. We need to take a break and get some water before we talk about converting your Crusade rules to 10th edition.
Greetings, mofos.
Are you out of George Dickel number 8, staring at a broken chess machine?
Well, don't want to spend the rest of the year tied to that couch?
Well, why don't you head on over to the 1 Hour a Night Facebook page and see what exciting stuff is going on there. It's a place to post all your daily progress in the hobby grind, as well as receive and give positive feedback. Also, there are usually a few interesting challenges going on.
That's right. All you have to do is search for 1 Hour a Night on Facebook. That's numeral 1 Hour a Night, all one word. Blood serum tests will be administered prior to approval.
Se til helvete og kom dere vekk. Det ikke bikkje, det en slags ting. Den imiterer bikkje, men det ikke det. Kom dere vekk, idioter!
What he said.
Damn, I knew it was around here somewhere. Damn, where is it?
Can I help you?
Ah! Scared me.
What do you seek?
I need the perfect scenario for a narrative game I'm running this week, and I can't find one.
Sir, this is the Black Library. We don't have narrative scenarios.
Well, then where should I go?
Might I recommend the Tabletop Campaign Repo?
The Tabletop Campaign Repo? What's that?
The Tabletop Campaign Repo is an ad-free site for hosting resources related to playing tabletop miniatures wargaming.
Oh, like scenarios?
Absolutely. Also, event packs, custom objectives, tracking sheets, custom terrain rules, maps, icon packs, award templates, and more.
Oh, and this is for Warhammer 40k?
Among other things, there's also Age of Sigmar, Kill Team, Warhammer Fantasy Battle, and others. They're always open for content submissions for any system, even non-Games Workshop materials.
Oh, that's awesome. It sounds like a great way to save all of this great content the community makes. A lot of that stuff often ends up disappearing into a dead message board or Facebook group.
Exactly. It's a real community effort.
Great. So how do I get there?
Just go to that webway gate marked tcrepo.com.
tcrepo.com. Got it. Can I ask you one more question before I go?
Fire away.
This place is really easy to find. How come Armand can never find it?
Oh, Because it's more funny that way.
Oh yeah, clearly.
Once again, the Tabletop Campaign repository can be found at tcrepo.com, and they're always looking for submissions. Ready whenever you are.
Is it running?
What, my air conditioner?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Better catch it. I did it! Welcome back, everyone. You're welcome.
That was horrible. And I have to leave that in there, too.
Mm-hmm.
This is...
here's a quote. Here's a quote from the PDF released by Games Workshop called "Continuing the Crusade."
Ba-ba-ba.
Mm-hmm. We recommend that when you update a unit's Crusade card, you remove all battle on hours from your unit. For each one you removed, you can now select one new battle on hour for it from any appropriate 10th edition rules available. At the start of the edition, this will be the rules presented in the Tyrannic War campaign, but see below for details on how you can update your Crusade cards at a later date. You must then... if a character has more than 3 battle on hours, you can use the Legendary Veterans for free if you wish to, which of course you can because you're not going to have to spend requisitions on your enhancements because those are points now.
Yeah.
You must then do the same for all battle scars your unit has. In both cases, the choice of new battle on hours and battle scars is yours. You can select those that you feel are the closest match to their previous role to maintain the narrative, or select entirely new ones representing extensive retraining. Yeah. I think this is bullcrap.
I'm not editing that.
Well, no, and I mean, I talked about it last time at the end of the last episode, but it's freaking stupid. You don't do that. Don't do this in your narrative campaigns. Yeah. Why would you do this? This is stupid.
Especially after what you and I have both gone over the codexes, and I've learned a considerable amount. I think you have too, right?
Yeah. And anybody who plays narrative play is used to things being slightly skewed one way or the other. Sometimes the missions are not balanced on purpose. Like it just, and if you want to, okay, let me, I am recommending that you go ahead and update your own Codexes Crusade rule section with, your usual opponent offering constructive criticism. It's not a lot. I don't think it's a lot. I don't think it's difficult. I don't think it should even be considered controversial to do so. Yeah. And I know some people are like, house rules. Ugh. But honestly, it's not even house rules at this point. It's just like for like, and we're going to go over that when we go over our respective codexes.
Yeah.
One thing it does mention here, as it was saying, you can put your characters, your units into stasis. Mm-hmm. So you kind of leave them on your Crusade. You leave them in like kind of aside from your Crusade force, and leave them in kind of a can't use it yet type thing, and then you can reintroduce them later in your campaign if you want to use new rules or whatever. Yeah. But anyways, this PDF is stupid. Don't read it. Okay.
Yeah. Normally you mentioned that we should do this. I was like, yeah, that's a great idea. And then I thought, wait, this could be like tough. And then when I started looking over the Thousand Suns Codex, it's like, I don't have to change things. Like, I have to change verbiage. Like, I can't call them Arcana Astartes. They have to be this other name.
Yeah. Use this other keyword or whatever instead of this keyword. Just swap out some keywords. So I'm gonna talk about. I didn't write this down, so I'm just gonna talk about some general things. Mm-hmm. One thing is, if you think if during gameplay something seems too powerful because of the new core rules, I would adjust it. I would like keep an eye on that. I don't think you're going to see a lot of that. A lot of the time when you have a swingy game, you feel like blaming the rules so your friend doesn't feel bad about being bad at Warhammer. Keep that in mind though. If something's a little too powerful, either tone it down or make it worth more Crusade points.
Yeah.
I would say the same thing for pretty much anything in here. I would kind of use the Crusade points mechanic to help rebalance things. I wouldn't make it a points value or anything like that. I think that's going too far because you're kind of creating a different paradigm of upgrades being worth points, and that's not what we're doing in Crusade.
Yeah.
In 10th edition either. So I would just go ahead and use Crusade points to rebalance things if you feel like you need to.
Yeah.
Another thing is psychic, what are they called?
What, the psychic powers and how we don't have the psychic phase anymore?
Yeah, the psychic powers. I didn't actually ask you if you had any ideas on that from the
I actually wrote in some stuff. Like,
you did write in some stuff?
Yeah, I came up with some ideas on, like, I kind of read through the verbiage on various units, and I went through and modified some stuff to...
Okay. Well, my initial thought was, like, the psychic... the psychic upgrades, you could probably roll those into weapon upgrades or other battle honors. But also, I still don't see a problem with a psychic upgrade tree or table, even if there isn't one right now in the core book, or sorry, in the current book, because as long as those abilities affect something that exists in reality in the Codex right now, like if an up, like say an upgrade, say there's an psychic upgrade that improves your ability to smite. Well, instead you could use that psychic ability to just improve the shooting attack that is a psychic shooting attack.
Yeah.
Simple.
It was one of those things where, I mean, looking at the Crusade rules, honestly, the Crusade rules didn't talk about the psychic powers as much.
Yeah, you have their psychic. I'm sorry, everybody. Yeah. I'm blanking on what the table was called. The upgrades were called. They're the psychic upgrades.
It was the well, for Thousand Suns, you'd have like the. Hold on. I actually do talk about it.
Let's talk about that when it comes up. I'll start talking about the orc stuff then. Okay, so might makes right. So this is that ability that makes one character the Waboss, and that increases their strength and wounds by 2 points each over time, and each one of those is +1 Crusade point.
Oh, that's cool.
It also has rules for characters with higher experience levels fighting for dominance. So if you have a character that you use a lot and they suddenly have more experience than your actual Waboss, then they have to fight it out, and there's literally no reason to not keep that. It's literally it has no bearing on the actual rules of Warhammer 40,000, so it's fine. The other change necessary is the power level was increased by 1 for each stat increase. So I'd set those to +15 points for strength and +20 points for wounds increases. When you do a strength increase, it would just be applied to the primary melee weapon of the character, or better yet, like any melee weapon that doesn't have the bonus attacks characteristic ability. A lot of these upgrades that affect your weapon skill or your strength or whatever, they often apply this to just your weapons that don't have the extra attacks characteristic or ability, like the attack squig. an attack squig isn't going to get the same +1 strength that you do. I mean, I guess they could, but in this case, in the past, it was just the strength. It was just the strength characteristic. So it would have just been your primary weapon or whatever weapons are based on strength.
Yeah.
Scrap. This stat was collected over the course of a campaign to repair battle scars on vehicles and add mech jobs and custom jobs and create looted vehicles. I see no reason not to continue this system. Even though custom jobs and mech jobs are no longer part of the orc index, I don't see why you couldn't add them for Crusade.
Right. For
Dabuma upgrade and the souped up special. So instead of a new profile, I would just add +2 attacks to the existing one instead of... I would avoid making up new statistics for weapons.
Yeah.
Right? Only if your group is super into custom rules. But you could just be like +2 attacks. It's fine. Mech custom jobs and mech jobs already have points value associated with them because they used to be a part of matched play. So go ahead and use those.
Mm-hmm.
Looted via the rest, and the rest of the jobs have direct corollaries to 10th edition, so there's no reason not to use them.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good.
Yeah, I wrote out like stats for all the looted vehicles from the source book.
Yeah,
and adjusted them, but I don't want to go too much into it. I'm not going to read off all these stats and everything. I'm going to put it in a PDF on the website for you to look at. But just to let you know, I did pre-create the looted vehicles, and I based them on, like the looted wagon, I based loosely on the Rhino and Chimera.
Yeah.
The looted heavy wagon, I based on the Lehman Russ, and the
Battle Fortress.
The Battle Fortress, I based on the Bane Blade.
That is pretty cool.
And you can just use the same custom red button rules. There's nothing wrong with that from the book. And I kind of combined rules from those vehicles with things like trucks and the existing trucks and battle wagons to make something new. Yeah. Again, this is another thing that would be super custom. Like it's a custom rule that needs to be play tested. So the looted wagons may be something that might not be copacetic with a group that's not into custom rules.
Yeah. Well, I think you can probably make a PDF of all of this since the Thousand Suns stuff. I mean, I didn't go through and do rules like that, but I do talk about striking stuff and whatnot.
Right.
Yeah.
So for the agendas, I have no change to any of them except for to remove the agenda categories and the following. Scrap 'em. That used to get you extra scrap points.
Yeah.
Crump and Spree, which scores your Warlord XP for destroying enemy characters. Bring It Down, which scores XP for Beast Snaggers who kill big stuff, and Cunning Stunts, which scores XP for Speed Freaks just zooming around.
Yeah.
They are all fine. Yep. They're all fine. Mega Wah mentions stages of the Orc Wah, which isn't a thing anymore. Mm-hmm. Orc Wah is for one battle round.
Right.
I was thinking apply the 3 XP for destroying enemy units. I really don't know. I think just sticking with the 3 XP during the WA might be fine. You're supposed to be able to get 1 XP the turn after, for the battle round after that. I was thinking of saying, well, why not for the turn after, right?
Yeah.
But you call your WA at the start of the battle round now, so you might not even be going first. So I'm actually thinking now, why not 3 XP on your turn and 1 XP on your opponent's turn during your WOG?
Yeah.
I think that would make sense, because if they go first, your WA is just ramping up. If you go first, and then it's their turn. Your was like cycling down.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah. All right. Requisitions. I wouldn't change most of the requisitions at all.
Yeah.
Use Fight for Me now, which gives you free fresh recruits when you fight orcs.
Mhm.
Extra scrap, bonus scrap for holding objectives. Sneaky Scheme, leadership challenge doesn't happen. Boring. Specialist mob. I would not use this. I think it's a bit problematic to try and convert all of the specialist mobs for games. And I don't think the specialist mobs are going to work here. I think that's a whole different like system that worked kind of in conjunction with 9th edition. And I think it would be too complicated to try to convert to 10th edition. So I would leave specialist mobs out of it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Right.
Yeah.
I think it would just be too much.
Yeah.
Battle traits. Almost all of the battle traits are compatible. Except for following DACA lads. Change the reference of DACA weapons to rapid fire weapons. You're done. It's fine. Dead Keen normally allows units to heroic intervention like characters. Since any unit can use heroic intervention stratagem now, then change the ability to this unit can be targeted by heroic intervention stratagem if it is within 12 inches of a charging unit instead of 6 inches.
Okay.
Or if it's going to be the one that you can't use, that's fine. Just swap it out for something else, like this stupid PDF says.
Yeah.
Also, Gnarly Scars. It normally imposed a -2 to leadership for enemy units within 3 inches. This just literally doesn't work anymore with the way leadership works now.
Yeah.
So change it to -2 to battle shock tests for enemy units within 3 inches instead.
Yeah,
it's literally the same effect.
Yeah. Gnarly Scars is a pretty cool band name.
Yeah, it is. Well, so is Dead Keen.
That's true. Actually, Gnarly Scars could be also a war boss.
DACA lads.
Yeah.
You could be the DACA lads. Yeah. So anyways, of the 3 battle traits I mentioned that could use changes, I think Dead Keen is the only one that actually needs like actual new rules. And if you wanted to swap that one out, fine. The other 2, it's just a very simple logical switch. Okay. Crusade Relics. Boss poll. So change +1 leadership to improve leadership characteristic by 1 because +1 leadership is worse than because you want low leadership because you're trying to get like a 5+, 6+, 7+, whatever. Element Rack change to ignore modifiers to battle shock tests for all orc units within 12. All souped up Shaka. Again, this is similar, just add +2 attacks to the shock attack gun because the souped up Shaka had its own like attack profile thing, like weapon profile, and I think it would be too much to just bring in a new weapon profile to a new edition. Waz gets Copper Skull Cap. So increase the attacks of the model's Edbanger psychic weapon from 1 to D3 +1. So this is again one of those things where it like affected psychic shooting powers or whatever. So I just had to modify it for us, their existing psychic weapon. Okay.
Yeah.
Get stopper rounds. Change the weapon type from DACA to rapid fire, and you're good to go. Simple as.
Well, that's one of the things I saw in the Thousand Suns was just like, oh, change this word, change that word. Right,
yeah. So the orcs in general, I would love it. I'm pretty sure Kendrick would agree to just letting me use the orc codex for Crusade rules. So, and I'll let you guys know as we go how that works out for us, okay? I think Orc Codex is slated for Christmas.
Oh. It's beginning to look a lot like Orcmas. There's going to be angry people for me saying that.
It's beginning to look a lot like Orcsmas. Green and red are great.
Yeah.
Codex Orc Spring 2024. Okay, so it's going to be a while. Yeah, the roadmap is Summer 2023 is what we've already got.
Uh-huh.
Autumn 2023 is Space Marines and Tyranids.
Yeah.
Winter is Admech and Necrons.
Okay.
And then spring is Dark Angels, Orcs, Custodes, Tau, and Chaos Space Marines.
Okay. So
people are saying that's a slow release schedule. I am saying, do you remember 5th edition?
yeah, or 6th edition even.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm going to keep on using this until spring, hopefully. I mean, obviously, just like anything else, consult with your regular opponent.
Yeah.
But since Kendrick has his own new Crusade rules, I don't think he'll complain at all about me using my crappy old Orc ones.
Yeah.
Let's be honest, the Orc special Crusade system is not as cool as some of the others. Like the old Tyranid one was actually pretty freaking sweet.
Yeah.
The consuming worlds and stuff, that was so fun.
Yeah.
But anyways,
Yeah.
Let's take a quick break and then we're going to come back and talk about the Thousand Suns.
Hey Archons, does 9th edition have you feeling like the Slith Party bus just doesn't have enough party for you? Well, if you want to put a little shock back into your shock brow, you need the Slith Party On! That's right, Archons. For 736 points, you can take 3 Archons, 12 Slith, and a Tantalus. It's the Slith Party On! Now, I know what you're thinking. Couldn't I take Drazar, 15 Incubi, and a Tantalus, aka the Incubi Murder Boat, for 51 less points? Sure, you could, but it wouldn't be the Slith Party On! But is it legal? Oh yeah! Is it awesome? Oh yeah! Is it any good on the table? No! It's the all-new Slith Party On. Sort of awesome. Party On! Really hilarious. Party On! It's the Slith Party On!
Come here, boy, get the ball. Come on, Max, get the ball. Mom, Max won't get the ball. He's lazy.
I think I know why your Zote is being lazy, Jenny.
Why, Mom?
Because you forgot to feed him his Zotobix today.
Oh, no.
Oh yes, Zotobix contains all the nutrients and random animal parts a growing Zote craves. It not only provides our Zote with the energy it needs to play with you and protect our home, but it also keeps its chitinous shell fresh and shiny.
Oh, boy, I'd better feed Max his Zotobix.
Yes, you had.
Zotobix is made in part from grade
Max,
A
time for
Astra
dinner.
Militarum post-engagement byproduct and is infused with 112 essential vitamins
No,
and
Max,
minerals
down.
harvested from your Zote's natural habitat, the finest desert depths.
Ah!
Zotobix is available in any shopping center on worlds where Zotes are allowed or where the Imperium's inexorable influence has not yet reached.
Welcome back. So, Jason,
Yeah.
tell me about Space Wizards.
Space Wizards, yes. All right, so there's a few things that we have to kind of think about for, not only the cults, for the Crusade rules, but there's some other stuff that's not really discussed. So in 9th Ed, the Thousand Suns had 9 cults. Manipulation, prophecy, time, scheming, magic, knowledge, change, duplicity, and manipulation. But in 10th Ed, we only have 1 cult, which is magic. In the 9th edition, each of these cults had a psychic power, a warlord trait, and an arcana relic, which are really cool. The 10th edition cult of magic does have 4 enhancements available to it. And to those enhancements actually were relics for the 9th edition, which I thought was kind of funny because I keep seeing names and stuff. It's like, oh, that was a relic, or oh, that was a psychic power or whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, one of the things I guess I'm trying to get at is I can see how GW is going to set up.
I see what you're saying. Like, if an ability improved the use of a certain psychic power, kind of skim the new book and or the new rules and try to find a reference to that psychic power in the weapons in the psychic weapons and then apply the ability upgrade to that instead.
Yeah. I went through and really read through the index cards and learned quite a bit and saw a lot of really fun things. You know, I am going to say, let's see. I think there will be a lot more cults released in the future just because of the way the app is set up and just the way that this whole thing is. I mean, it's similar to, the Space Marine chapter tactics and, orc clans and whatnot. All right, so let's go to the Special Crusade rules, and we're going to go in book order. So I love the Thousand Suns. I have since I basically started this game, but I'm always kind of amused by the way that their codexes, indexes, etc. are laid out. It's like they put stuff in the most haphazard manner of order that they can, like as some sort of insider joke about, Zinch affecting them or something. So we're just going to go in order the pages of the 9th edition codex because it's easier that way. So one thing I wanted to talk about, though, was psychic powers. These aren't Crusade rules because they're the old powers, but you do need to talk about them to understand why some things need to be changed in the Crusade rules. Since all these powers, psychic power selection has been removed, you have had choices of which powers you could be assigned to. Out of 2 disciplines, each with 6 powers, blah, blah, blah. But now those choices have been removed, and it does affect some Crusade rules. What is surprising is the small number of minor edits that are needed to make the Crusades rules, the 9th edition Crusade rules, work in 10th edition. A lot of times it's just me removing keywords. Agendas. This is page 61 of your hymnal. Pursuit of knowledge. Keep the same. You don't have to change it. All the bookkeeping is in pursuit of knowledge experience point pool. It's just gaining an experience point. That's it. Malefic ritual. They do have psychic actions, and just perform this ritual during the shooting phase in lieu of performing a psychic power.
And as we all know, actions are no longer a thing. Oh, wait, yes, they are.
Well, yeah. But rubric models and Scarab Occult Terminators can fire their psychic weapons, bolters, combi bolters, and cannons as usual. Almost like very few changes. Wrath of Sorcerers, that was one of those where they gave you points if you fired Smite, a Witch Fire, or Malediction, or you destroyed an enemy unit. You just change Smite to Warp Smite, Witch Fire to Witch Fire, and Focus Witch Fire. And you just add, Manifest Fire of the Abyss power, corsating flames, mutating orbs, astral blast, and arcane fire, psychic spells, which that's all the spells for everybody except for Armin and Magnus. They've changed all of that, which is kind of cool. I think the last agenda is Arcana Long Buried. No change at all. It's
nice.
It's actually part of the. Let me double check here. It's part of an experience pool, and you don't have to worry about that. Chaos boons, which if you are a Thousand Suns, player, you want your boons. You want to give your models, more everything. I think out of the 9 boons, Avian Talons, I need to remove or perform a heroic intervention. Wait, are heroic interventions still a thing?
Yep. But it's a stratagem, yeah.
I guess you could. Well, if it's a stratagem, ooh.
Yeah. I mean, why? I mean, it's fine if having to do a stratagem for. That's okay.
Yeah, because it's each time this model makes an attack, if it made a charge or performed a heroic intervention, add 1 to the attack roll. So
yeah, okay. That's fine. No, that's great.
Then we could just remove that. No changes.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just some of the stuff is super simple. It's just kind of funny. I mean, it's really cool, actually. Then we actually spell no changes correctly. There we go. Battle traits. Lord of Rubicae can stay the same. Do they still do epic deed stratagems? I can't remember.
Yes.
Okay, then basically your battle traits can all stay the same. No modification.
Yeah, there's literally no reason not to use this stuff. It's great.
Yeah, because like for instance, for Lord of Rubicae, all you're doing is allowing them to re-roll a wound. Rubic Marines or Scarab Occult Terminators. Greater Fate. What is it? You can have a stratagem cost 0 CP, which I think there's already a stratagem that there's already a thing that does that. Yeah, it's no modification. Psychic Fortitudes, which were, psychic powers. And with that one, for instance, Thrall Master did need some work because while a friendly Thousand Sun Psyker unit was within 9 inches of this unit knows all psychic powers that unit knows. So I thought, well, what we could do is, instead of this unit performs all that, replace it with can perform the following psychic powers from the nearby unit. And then I gave a list of all the psychic powers that are available to the various aspiring sorcerers, etc. And I think that would work. Like it would give them it would allow an extra shooting attack, essentially.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
That's a minor change.
Yeah, it's minor. Master of the Ritual, leave it as is. This is actually really cool for the new edition, though.
Okay.
Once per battle in your psychic phase, this unit can generate D3 additional Cabal points, which there is something that allows... there's an enhancement, that's it, that allows you to generate an extra Cabal point every round. But I think that this would be, this is going to be on one of your main characters, and it'd probably be pretty cool.
That's what it's called. That's right. Psychic Fortitudes. That's right.
Okay.
I'm sorry. My brain just clocked in and said, "Oh yeah, that's what that was called." Sorry, dude.
All right. The third Psychic
I like
Fortitude,
that from Master.
Hand of Char, remove Smite and replace with Warp Smite, Witchfire, focus with, just with the regular shooting attacks of your aspiring sorcerers or your regular sorcerers. I mean,
okay,
super simple.
Oh yeah, it just improves psychic attacks or whatever, or improves smite.
Well, originally it is once per battle after the Psyker manifests the Smite psychic power, you can select one enemy unit that is in range of and visible to this unit to suffer the mortal wounds instead of the closest visible enemy unit. Oh
yeah, just like any shooting power with the psychic descriptor.
Yeah.
Boom.
So all I did was say any psychic power you can do that with, but it kept it the same because that's cool.
Yeah. Yeah, well, yeah, the actual ability works fine.
Oh yeah, it's great. I mean, I'm not really modifying anything except just changing Smite to something else. Let's see. Discovering the Arcane. So I didn't do this in 9th edition. There's a whole way of creating and locating, for lack of a better term, Crusade relics and Crusade psychic powers. And I just never did it because I just never did it for whatever reason. But the ways to collect arcane powers are points you don't have to modify at all. Spending arcane points to go through and create these new relics or these new psychic powers. You'll need to strike Arcana Astartes character and replace with Psyker character. This is not available for named characters such as Armin and Maggie.
Yeah.
Same thing. Let's see. Text. Okay, so then next we have the Crusade relics that are underneath this arcane thing. Or this Discovering the Arcane. And what was it? Text of Warp Blown Ash, which is in your psychic phase if your army is a cabal of sorcerers. And this model is on the battlefield, you generate 1 additional cabal point. 2 cabal points if the bearer has the battle-hardened rank or better. So, yeah. Change from in your psychic phase to during the command phase, since that's when cabal points are actually calculated.
Yeah. That's fair.
Boonstone. I love this one. I forgot this was in there. Just keep it the same. Once per battle, this model can unleash the power of the relic. And if it does, add 3 to the next psychic test taken for this model.
Okay, yeah.
It's like, oh, this is great. Mesmeric Stave, change Force Stave to Force Weapon, since that's been changed around in all the sorcerer rules. It's like there's no longer a Force Stave or a Force Sword. It's just a Force Weapon or Force Axe even, which is interesting. All right. Psychic powers. This is underneath the Discover the Arcane. Thief of Fate, change if manifested during the shooting phase. What was it? Oh yeah, make sure that you shoot during the shooting phase instead of psychic. Visions of Doom, same difference. Remove Arcana Astartes and replace Thousand Suns faction. Yeah, I mean, it's just the psychic powers are just, hey, put them in the shooting phase. There's no psychic phase anymore.
Yeah. It's a very simple conversion.
Yeah. Requisitions. All right. So I remember going through this, and I was on Discord talking to Couch. It was during Bad Movie Night, and no one showed up, so we just hung out and talked about.
Yeah, sorry about that, dude. That was this week. Yeah, this week was a nightmare.
Oh yeah, well, I mean, it was fun. Talking to Couch and letting him hear, me grumble over, what would be the best way to interpret this rule. So on Ascension to Power, which is one of the first requisitions, and this is really quite cool in that, let's see, I have to go to page 44. This is all part of the, what does they call it? The Legion Command ability. So, for instance, the Thousand Suns were able to do Legion Command where you could just upgrade your HQs. They're like little enhancements. Basically, it's very similar to enhancements. And so I'm looking at the ones that need to be fixed. So for the Exalted Sorcerer, they have 3 of them. One of them, the Rahati, just instead of Smite, I think. Yeah. Well, this model can attempt to manifest 1 additional psychic power in your psychic phase. I said can manifest Astral Blast 2 times in the shooting phase.
Wait, what blast?
Astral. There we go.
Astral. Didn't they have Astral Blasters?
I think they have a singular blaster or a singular blast. I haven't asked. And then for Sorcerer, okay, I've got a kitten on top of my keyboard.
I didn't see that.
Hi, Sassy. This is the one who...
Oh, baby kitty.
Oh, she's cute.
Hi, baby kitty.
Whoever gets this one is going to have their work cut out for them because all food is hers, including your food. In fact, yeah, definitely your food.
She's going to be a fatty.
Oh, yeah. She's a sweetheart, though, but boy, she's already, wandered in and started eating things. Let's see. She also moved me on my notes. Where am I?
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
Good girl. Go type in.
There we go.
One time. Okay, good.
Okay, so Sorcerer, let's see, what's the next one? Loyal Thrall can cast 1 stratagem at 0 CP once per player turn. I'm trying to remember what it originally was. Oh, it's performing a psychic action instead of attempting to manifest 1 psychic power.
Oh, okay. So that's like a. I mean, it's not a huge deal if you use it, but it's a major change. It's like, there's no corollary, so it's a major change.
Right, yeah, I think that's what I was grumbling about. It's just like, well, how do I pull this off? So
I wonder if you could do it like you can use your psychic shooting attack instead of doing a... No, that doesn't really work because the rituals are so different now too.
Yeah.
So yeah, that one might be if your friends don't like custom rules, maybe switch it out for something else.
Yeah.
But I think but I think the ability that you came up with for it is good.
Yeah.
Personally.
Cool. Witch Warrior also, it's a sorcerer thing. Remove Smite or Witchfire and replace with a. So you're just cutting out, what was that one? Each time this model manifests Smite or Witchfire psychic power that inflicts mortal wounds. So each time they manifest a psychic power that inflicts mortal wounds, you can re-roll the dice to determine number of mortal wounds inflicted. What was the other one? Aspiring Sorcerer and Scarab Occult Terminators. There were two of them that I just said remove them. Remove Ardent Automata and Protege, because I just really couldn't figure out how we could do that.
And that's fine. Like if there's a few things that just don't work, refund the points or the abilities for whatever it is, and get something else.
Yeah, I looked over and was just like, I just can't think of anything. Going back to those rituals, there we go. Rebinding ritual, fine. Demonhood, yeah, this one's great. You can go through and turn your character into a demon. I think you just have to remove Warlord trait, since there aren't Warlord traits anymore. Ruthless Politicking, another requisition. You just you replace Arcane or Arcana Astartes with Thousand Suns faction in 2 places. Same for Path to Glory, Beseech the Changer of Ways, and Flesh Change. But I mean, there's not a lot of change in this codex or in these Crusade rules to make them applicable with 10th edition. It's kind of nice. Then there's the name generator on the next page.
Well, yeah, those are evergreen. Like, let's be honest, those are around forever, and there's nothing that will ever get me to. You can tear those from my cold dead hands, is what I'm saying. Right? Like, like that's not even a thing. I wonder if that name generator page is still there. I need to clean up my bookmarks. It is a freaking disaster area.
Yeah, well.
Oh my goodness.
It's either that or 5,000 open tabs. Your choice.
Yeah, and it's funny, like everyone when I use one, it gets moved kind of to the top.
Yeah.
But so like what's at the bottom of my Warhammer? Free Xenos index cards. Oh, because then when you add a new one, it goes to the bottom. Yeah. But I manually add them to the top. So like the Xenos index cards are at the bottom. But what's the oldest one that I don't use in the Warhammer bookmarks? Soulforge Studio.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, this is
Is that a painting group?
3D printing.
Oh, printing. Okay.
Spaceships. Boy, those are cool. I wish that resin didn't scare me anymore, but it does now. So I haven't touched my 3D printer. Well, anyways, big diversion. Sorry guys, we're done with the topic. Hey Jason, you did a great job with these Thousand Suns.
Thanks.
Thank you for doing that.
This is fun. I mean, we both looked at this stuff and saw, hey, these Crusade rules they may not even change when 10th edition codexes drop, or they may just be, what's what I'm looking for? Maybe expanded,
Yeah, it's the worst. Like like telling people to just not use their codex that they bought. Like you still don't throw your codex away, especially if you're playing Crusade. Yeah. Use it, love it, enjoy it. Okay. Yeah. It's fine. It's fine. And if your friends are like, no, I don't like it when you change one small rule so you can use your codex, you need to find new friends. Those people are terrible. Why would somebody do that to you? These codexes are expensive.
Brutal.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. We'll be right back.
What is the Anime Plummet?
Yeah, this isn't your same old podcast you hear week to week. cartoon podcast.
Yeah, we podcast about the trash, about the shit that no one else wants to talk about.
Podcast about anime on the not so safe for work side.
Trashy alternative.
That's a literal garbage.
Watching things that are bad?
This is the podcast you can't tell your friends about because we cover so much smut and garbage that just isn't covered on other shows.
He's old Mexican.
All the trashy isekais. Yeah, that's what I expected as well.
Yeah, I can do that as well.
Listen to it. Don't take it too seriously. It's just cartoons.
How would I describe this podcast? It's aight.
Check out the Anime Plummet Podcast, part of the Anime Summit Podcast Network. Why are you laughing at me?
Oh, we've reached level 6. Welcome back. I see that you're ready to go to bed. Welcome back. Of course, I'm joking. Jason doesn't sleep. He's got a bunch of kittens. Da 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 da. So
yeah, there's one sitting on the chair right behind my head. I'm just waiting for her to literally claw into my ears. Which one aren't you? Oh, of course you're sassy. You don't have any brain cells in there that don't mean causing problems. Yeah.
So I am glad that we didn't go to Dave Matthews tonight. There are 22,000 people at SPAC right now.
Oh wow.
There's like a lot of people, the conventional wisdom is that the second night is the better night of the two.
Yeah.
So I think they had going the first night with Quinn when there was lots of room on the lawn to play and have a nice time.
Yeah.
I'm glad we did that because Madison Square Garden holds 19,000 people.
Oh.
So SPAC has 22,000 people right now.
Wow. Yeah. I would not be wanting to do that.
No, that sounds like the worst. I'm glad I'm home, and I'm glad I played Warhammer with my friends.
Yeah.
Okay, so folks, listen. If you come up with cool Crusade rule conversions for your favorite codex, join the Discord and tell us about it.
Yeah.
We'll probably mention your ideas on the air if I remember to put them in the show notes. Email us at mastersoftheforge@gmail.com and ask for a Discord invite. We would love to have more voices on the Discord to talk about narrative play.
Yeah.
Okay. We would love to have more voices on the Discord to talk about bad movies, Bluey, and sometimes narrative play. It would be really nice.
And sometimes weird anime.
And weird, I don't know what that channel doesn't exist.
And you can see kitten videos and pictures because I throw them up there all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But in all honesty, this is the only group I'm in where the hobby hangouts happen actually regularly. So I'd like to keep that going and feel people, our existing people, listeners who are in there and everything, feel free to start a hobby hangout anytime. Like, jump in the channel. And if you want to chat with people, like you never know who might jump in there to talk to you. Because I do that sometimes. I'll just jump in the channel and I'll put on a movie or a TV show. And if someone pops in, I'll turn off the TV show or whatever.
Yeah.
Or make them watch Bluey, or make them
watch whatever we're watching.
Yeah. I'm actually in the middle of rewatching the modern era Doctor Who. It's been nice. Yeah, It's been pretty cool.
Are you through the Ninth Doctor yet?
Yeah. I'm through not yet.
Okay, almost. It's only
because David Tennant is the 9th, right?
No, he's a 10th.
Or is he 10? Okay, so yeah, I'm done with Eccles, and I'm on the second season of
of Tenet. Okay.
Tenet. Yeah. I'm a weird one. I like 11 because he's great and there was a lot of good stories, but you know what? They're all great. They're all. That's fine. It's like choosing your favorite child, which you can definitely do, but you don't talk about it. The same thing with Doctor Who. So
Yeah.
So next episode, I was thinking about doing the Tyrannic Wars.
Mhm.
And actually, I might go through the new lore for that, for the new Tyrannic Wars. I started to go through it, but if I'm feeling frisky, I'll also loop in some of the other stuff. Just a quick background. I always worry because many of our listeners probably already know the lore better than I do. So I'll try to loop in some of the history before we go into the new, just to add some like not relevance, but like just to add,
well, to give like a overall kind of structure.
Yeah, so that like a synopsis or of some kind, so that we're not kind of just jumping in the middle of a new storyline with no context. That's the word, context. But until then,
play the game the way you want to.
All right. We'd love it if you could give us a positive rating and review on iTunes.
If you'd like to keep in contact with us, you can follow us on Facebook or Twitter by searching for Masters of the Forge.
And you can follow our hobby progress on Instagram with the hashtag Masters of the Forge.
If you'd like to engage with us directly, you can always join our Discord server.
To do so, or if you have any questions, topic suggestions, or if you'd like to advertise your creative hobby endeavor,
contact us at mastersoftheforge@gmail.com.
Please consider supporting us on Patreon at patreon.com/mastersoftheforge. Thanks.
This podcast is protected by the Creative Commons Attribution, No Derivatives, Non-Commercial International License. More information about this license and contact information if you have any requests can be found at our blog, mastersoftheforge.com.
It's such a good feeling to play games your way. It's such a happy feeling 40K'ing away. And when you throw dice with story in mind, it's such a wonderful way to unwind. It's a good feeling, a very good feeling, the feeling you know that we'll be back when the fortnight's new, and we'll have new ideas for you, and you'll have things you'll want to talk about. We will too.